Hey friends, it's Joe from DadBod today. It's, what is it, like 5:10 in the morning or so, 42 degrees in Celsius, that's 96. Today we have a recovery run. It'll be about 2.5 miles, which should be mellow. It is super dark today, so there'll be a couple areas where there's lights, and then it'll just be a moving podcast. But happy to have you join me. It's like day 199 of my fitness journey since doing the original DadBod half marathon training program. So, feeling pretty good. Let me pop you on my head and we'll get to work. 3, 2, 1. What should be nice though is if you lose visibility on the dark streets, you'll still get the crunch of leaves, which is incredibly satisfying. I am a little twisted up today. Let me get my gloves on. And we did 7 miles on Monday and my gloves got all sweaty and gross. So I tried to wash them. But we have this lady that comes and helps us with laundry sometimes because we just got way too much crap going on between my job and all the kiddos. I'm losing my pants. 1 second, I gotta fix my pants. Her name's Marianne. She's incredible. I'm gonna tighten everything. Give me a second. It is quiet though. It's nice. I was trying to wash my gloves and she does all of our laundry for the whole family, but it all gets mixed together, and then if I haven't found what I need in the evening, like, her system is impossible for me personally to understand. So I have a bad knot in my pants. Like, her system's impossible for me to understand, so it's like there's no hope of finding my gloves. So I ended up grabbing gloves from my wood shop, which was just kind of funny. Let's see. Oh no, these things are tied together. That's dumb. Who designed that? Multiple nuts. I bought a pair. Oh, it's one string. Frack! This is the worst design. I wish I had a knife with me because I would totally cut this string in half. Because if it's one continuous loop, like, there's nothing you can do with it. Alright, that'll do. Alright, let me start my distance. Open up YouTube, put on my gloves, and then we'll run. Alright. I use Map My Run. I think it's fantastic. It talks to me. It says nice things in the little female robot voice. But I am sore, and Wednesdays are recovery, so the goal here isn't to push anything. It's just good, active, functional movement, and work out all the kinks. All right, now we need YouTube just in case by happen chance anyone actually is here. Let's see. Well, there's one lonely soul watching. Let's lean forward. I need my other glove. Now it's brisk, like 45 is tolerable. It's actually kind of one of the tricky things. It's like one of the tricky temperatures because in the beginning you wish you had a long sleeve shirt and a hat and gloves, but then eventually, like, your body warms up and you wish you didn't have any of that. Oh my god, that's gonna bug me. So, we'll see. We'll see how it all works out. But I'm already getting warmer, where I'm like, oh, glad I didn't wear pants. Shorts will do. I gotta fix that. I was like, that jingle's gonna drive me crazy. Yay. Alright, so the goal of today, now that we're finally in it, we're finally awake, we're out in the cold, we're running, we've made a choice. First goal is to not work hard. It's a recovery. Recovery. Whew. We intentionally keep these days light. Here we go. Whew. Stairs. They'll find us on the way back. They always do. How good that was. Oh, nice spit. That was great. You hear that? Did that come through? I keep loogie in my mouth. What a great start to the day. So, there's lots of sore spots, which is expected. Like my 7-mile run, typically on the long run days, my form's not perfect. I can normally keep things in a safe zone, but normally the day after, or particularly 2 days after, things will start to get tight if I compensated and worked one leg a little harder. Start to feel that. And then yesterday we did our moose lift 3A, and by golly, we went after that one. I maxed out my squats. So we got a sore booty, sore hamstrings. Whew. And the notion of standing up tall with a little lean and running, whew, it's uncomfy. So all of this workout right now just represents a choice. Like, it is uncomfortable, but I have to choose to get out on my body, move functionally, but not work too hard is the tricky part. Like, I'm okay with a little bit of cardio, a little bit of breathing, but I want to keep the intensity as low as I can, keep it moderate, and really focus on function, form. You know, we might jog part of it, might walk part of it. We also typically do our river reflection. Yes, I'm gonna walk for a minute because I felt that in my hip. Let me hit a couple deadlifts, see if I can get my form right. Nice. And I'll hit a squat. Whew, that's new. Deadlift. Squat. So one thing I'm noticing on my workout yesterday, my squat depth is decreasing. And it's just because I'm not working the lower end of it. So normally when things are a little off from a calibration perspective, I'll hit a couple deadlifts, squeeze the glute at the top, tuck my tailbone, find my core, you know, do another one. There we go. And only when I do them successively, I can really find it posture-wise. There it is. Found it. It helps me kind of lock in the core. Because at least when you run the way I run, form-wise, it's not all legs. Legs are part of the chain. They're moving. But actually I focus a lot on engagement of the core, like lightly bracing the core, so squeezing it, and some engagement in lower back. And I do a lot with like upper back, shoulder posture. I basically want to have very mild forward lean, not too much, but I don't want to run straight upright. I want to have, again, a mild forward lean, and I try to have my feet land under my body as opposed to out in front of my body, so it's more of like a controlled fall. It's higher impact if your feet are landing in front of your body. Like when I say in front, if you consider like your center of mass, just the center where all your body weight is, and you drew a straight line down to the floor, I try to have my feet land right on that center of mass, or slightly behind it, but not in front of it. Because when they land in front of it, it actually can stop momentum in some ways. Your body has to do more work. Now, if you're running for speed, as opposed to low impact endurance, then having your feet land in front of you is totally fine. Like you look at Usain Bolt, bro's feet are a mile in front of him, I think. Now I gotta go and watch that. Gotta make sure I'm spitting facts. Let's get some oxygen. Yeah, the goal today, low and slow throttle. Just get out of my body, work things in a little bit. Don't work too hard. Rest and reflect. So halfway, just over halfway, we will stop off by a river for 5-10 minutes. Do a little bit of like prayer, rest, reflection, depending on which faith context you come from, or lack thereof. And we'll make our way back. That's great. We're almost at the river. And I didn't think I'd make it that far. And I gotta lean on the stairs. Lean forward. Drive with the button. Drive with the button. Ooh, almost died. Almost died. Yeah. Looks like I make it. Whew. Always be safe out there, kids. So I think I'm gonna be in the walk zone for a little bit. I'm a little winded today. Actually, trying to figure out why. Let's hit another deadlift. Whew. My form definitely leaves something to be desired. But what I will say, even though I haven't been running or lifting with perfect form, definitely feel stronger. I just also have some mobility imbalances I gotta work through. So we're gonna walk to the 2 mile mark, unless I get peppy about it. And even when I'm walking, I'm focusing on like, where's my spine unbalanced? How do I roll my shoulders back? Tuck them down like a row. Hold in my gut. Lean forward. And yesterday I did three sets of 6 different exercises. But first of all, that was an amazing accomplishment for me, because I had some other meetings and things I had to squeeze in throughout the day. So to finish it, to get the full thing in was good. But because of the timing not working with my job in an ideal fashion, I did some of the reps, I think, a little too fast. And for me, normally, but not always. Ooh, puddles, gross. Normally, I try to do reps a little bit slower and kind of maximize the time under tension, and definitely focus on form. And yesterday I was like, okay, from a psychological perspective, time under tension isn't necessarily the goal of today. For me, it's, can we bang out 3 sets safely? But I got rushed at the end because I had a Zoom call to make. And what I probably should have done is have contentment that the last 2 exercises would have 2 sets each instead of 3, and slow it down a little bit and have good form. Because the last thing I was doing was an exercise called W's, which is sore cheeks today, man. On W's, you lay on your stomach, you grab 2 weights, you start with your elbows, arm and torso, like your armpit joint at 90 degrees, laying on your stomach. You turn on your back and your core, you lift the weights off the ground, keeping your elbows parallel to the ground, or your arms parallel to the ground. Once you lift it to a comfortable height, you then drive the elbows back towards your butt, squeeze, bring them back forward, bring them back down, then hit another one. And it kind of, targets shoulders, upper mid back, stability, and that's what we're trying to get, by the way, is that whole tower thing with stability. And then what's the other thing it does? It hits lower back though as well, because it's like holding the Superman. And at least for me, when I do the Superman, I feel the squeeze on my lower back muscles. And because I was rushed on that, if I had done a lighter weight, gone a little slower, and focused on the squeeze, I would have noticed that I was like squeezing one side more than the other. So basically right above my hip on my sacrum, there's like variable tension, which is trying to pull one leg higher than the other. So when that happens, and I normally can detect it because I've been doing this long enough that I know my body, like, it throws off my gait, just like my form when I'm running or walking. And what I'm not so good at, I'm able to recognize when it's wrong. I can't always immediately fix it. The deadlifts, which I'm doing right now, can normally get me closer to correct, but there are other stretches that I can't really do. Like if I had done my OG-sans, which just means grandpa in Japanese, that would have helped. Check out one of my other workouts for those, they're great. Basically, you lay on your side, everything's at 90, your arms are out 90 from your body. It's kind of like you're in an embryo position, you know, on your side, curled up. And then you kind of open up your back, bring it back, do that 10 times, then cross your bottom arm over to your top knee and windmill the other arm. And it just kind of like opens everything. And every morning that I do that, which I'll do when I get home, I can immediately feel where there's variable tension. So that's one of the challenges I'm working through. How do I work into the instabilities and the imbalances safely? Because even right now, walking, like jog started fine, everything started fine with the workout, and now right now there's a little bit of hip discomfort. It's not injured, but again, it's a mechanic's gait movement issue, because yesterday wasn't a perfect lift, and that happens. That's why we recover. If today was ego, I would be pushing myself to run. We save ego runs for Mondays and Fridays. Mondays, the ego is, I'm gonna run this long distance no matter what, for the most part, right? Because I know it's within my capability, even if it's uncomfy. So that's where ego shows up on my Mondays. And on Tuesdays, on Tuesdays, we do our fartlek, which is variable interval training. That's some pain coming off the knee. Come on, booty, wake up. It really is like a lower back booty connection thing. Get some twists. Get some twists with the knee raises. Just work it out. Let me see if I can find my core. There we go, brace it, found it. I'm gonna trottle gently. And what I'm doing, if I ever have gait issues, like things are unbalanced, and this is kind of tricky because it doesn't feel natural. All I do, I try to hold core, try to hold back, try to find that ideal posture, right? But then I shorten my gait, so I'm taking little tiny crabby steps. And what that's making me do is it's shortening my stride, which means I have more control over how each foot is landing, how far it's going back. I have more control over hip height and posture, as well as like getting a better squeeze on each glute. And glutes honestly part of it too, because I did squats yesterday. Whew. I did squats, and I did like single leg squats, and I always struggle with those. Those are always bad. And the worst part about those is like single leg squats for me, they create an impatience. They're uncomfortable. There's a lot of instability. they require more time as you balance and try to squat on one leg and land on a chair. They're a weakest link, so there's always a tendency to rush through them or to not do it slow with an optimal movement. And I'm actually thinking about different ways I can modify them, because if I had a band to hold on to, maybe possible for me to support my weight and squat with better form lower, because I'm struggling to squat all the way to a chair under full load, and my form gets really weird at the transitions. What I'd like to do is reach a full squat depth on one leg, but take some of the weight out of the equation. So maybe I need a rope. That'd be fun. But this shorter stance that I got right now, or this shorter stride, it's actually working really, really well, because like I have a lot more control on how each foot's landing. I'm starting, I don't know, it's not there yet, but I'm starting to get my stride a little bit more symmetric, even though soreness and fatigue across the muscle groups is not symmetric, right? Because that single leg squat might have done a better job isolating the left butt cheek than the right butt cheek. So now when I'm trying to run, one butt cheek is super tight and doesn't want to run, the other one's loose, so they're all trying to push or drive me different distances per stride, and shortening it keeps everything where it should be. So that's kind of the perk of that. Oh, that's a big puddle. Squishy. But finally got to the point where I can actually move functionally in a jog. It just required multiple deadlifts, multiple squats, a couple hip twists, shorter stride, figure out how to lock it all in. Birds! Bird! I need to make a little emoji for people who join our channel about birds. So it's a little dark, so I'm sure you can't see all that much. But what we're gonna try to do, even though the water seems kind of high, I used to come out here and reflect and pray when I could only do a mile. Now I go farther. But this place is still like really special to me, borderline sacred. Sun's gonna start to rise from there by the cranes. That's that's Kawasaki that way. Futaka Tamagawa's out that way. We're gonna try to go out on that peninsula, if that makes sense. But sometimes our walk is obstructed and it's dark, so it's really hard for me to see, and this thing's wet. So hopefully we don't roll down this hill and die. So that'd just be a poor, well, it'd make a good clip. All right, let's see. These steps are very steep. Walk, 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 walk. Heel toe, heel toe. It's gonna be fun to do that when it ices over. And I can't really see my feet because it's dark. Nor can I see the ground. I gotta turn my night vision back on. Actually, I might turn on a flashlight just for this part so I don't die. Ooh, that water looks really high today. I'm gonna have to take off our shoes. Let's see, let me take off a glove for a minute. I've walked across it, it's cold. It's a very intimate experience when you walk across it barefoot and then you're all cold and wet, but I might do it because it's restful. Let's see. I'm gonna see first if this is even possible. Yeah, the river is higher than it was. I don't see how I could do that. That distance is too far to jump. Somebody moved my stick and it's wet. Because the debate is wet shoes or wet feet, you know? Yeah, it's only 40 degrees. Let's take our shoes off and walk through the river. It'll be good for us. All right, so I'm gonna step back over here. I'm gonna put my phone in my bucket, I guess. Like, it's almost 6. The kids will wake up soonish. I got time. I was doing this during a live stream, and we had a friend from Germany. At the time, he's like, yeah, in Germany. I don't know why my accent almost started to change, because that wasn't a German accent. It's like just upbeat. I guess I'll just leave my shoes and socks here. Take off the shoes. Hopefully we don't step on glass. Nah, most Japanese parks are pretty good. If I stepped on glass, that would really suck. I'll step on rocks, that'll, ow, hurt. Yep, that's a rock, you idiot. Because you just have to get out to the river. Stupid. All right, I am gonna pull the camera back outside, or the flashlight out, so I can only see what the heck I'm doing here. But, so for anyone who's new here, oh, that looks cold. Oh, it looks cold and wet. My feet are already cold. All right, let's do it. Ow! 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 It is cold. Whew! Cold and wet. Ow! A little slimy. Ow! 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 Frick! Ow! Anyway, a friend from Germany, because I ramble and lose my stories sometimes. Ow! 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 It's really good for me. He was explaining that in Germany, in parks, we're gonna get to the punchline, friends. I'm just distracted by the pain. He was like, in our parks, there are these different trails they have with like different textures, like sand, pebbles, larger rocks, and they're barefoot trails, and you're supposed to walk on them, and it like trains your feet how to be strong and walk on different materials. Oh, ow. So I'm kind of treating this as a massage. We'll see how it goes. Ow. At least they're like, no, they're uncomfy. me over here trying to find the bright side of things. Ow. Oh Lord. But I promise there's peace at the end of this. Okay. It's funny, I'm just like looking straight down at my feet, suffering. And I'm like, I could be walking right towards some kind of clown murderer dude out here. And definitely not be aware of it. Hip caught a little bit on that because I wasn't walking right. All right. But friends, when I first started long distance running, I used to come out to this location, and that would get me out to half a mile basically, and I run the other half mile back, and I basically run that half mile. Ooh, ah. And then I would like rest and pray, sit on a bench. There's no bench here, but there's one up there, and it's just kind of like that 30 minutes of stress running with hip pain. Oh, we've run out of walkway. Interesting. Was very reflective for me to be near the water, to just kind of process everything going on in my life, to kind of wrestle or war with God about the things that weren't going well. Because there's always something in our life, right, that isn't going well. Just how things work. And I'd come out here to the water, process things for a little bit, and then be on my merry way. There we go, made it. So the intent of this time, because not everybody comes from a faith context, I definitely don't assume that everybody comes from mine, is I like to take like just 5 minutes and kind of breathe, pray, process life, try to listen to the water, seek some discernment. And you know, even as you're scrolling through different live streams, there's so much noise in our world, both in person, on our phones, in the cities that we live in. So much strife and movement, and it can be really hard for us to take a simple moment to rest and reflect. So I'm gonna give you 5 minutes. It's 5:54 to just kind of enjoy the water, and then I'll walk back across the rocks of pain. There we go, 5:54. All right, friends. Hope you've enjoyed your little quiet moment of reflection. Let's get back to it. All right. I'm gonna try to walk across these rocks of pain. Eventually, my feet will become strong, like iron. Yo, it's Patty to Spain. What's up? Sorry, Patty, for the delay. We just did like 5 minutes of just kind of reflection near the river. For me, I come from a faith context, so I did a lot of praying, a lot of thinking about my life and the crazy that is life in Japan. But I wanted to give folks just a little bit of rest and reflection. We're also barefoot because I couldn't cross the river without getting my shoes wet. So we're gonna kind of waddle back across the river, try to dry our feet, put our shoes on, and run, jog, walk the rest of the way back. So maybe another 35 minutes to hang out with one another. It should be a good old time. But how are things in your world? I could just be scared of snakes. I saw one, not today. Actually, if you end up doing the DadBod half marathon program, which I hope to release just in time for New Year's resolutions. I'm a busy guy, so we'll see. But if you end up doing that, I got attacked by a snake on one of the runs. I was like running down the stairs, and it was definitely like out on the steps. In my brain, it was huge and hissing. It was probably just like a little garden snake. I was like, oh my god, snake. I almost died. Ooh, rocks. So I really like this spot, okay? I don't like what I have to do to get here. You know, we go from all that nice restful reflection and then pain. My foot is like, bruh, you're 300 pounds. We don't need all that weight pushing down one little pokey rock into your foot, you know? Put your shoes on. But the problem is, if I put my shoes on after crossing the river, my feet are wet. There's nowhere to really sit and dry my feet and do that. And one of our friends from Germany on the channel was telling us that they have all these fancy rock paths to train their feet, you know, widen out their toe box. And it's good for you. It's good. It's great. Ah! I'm almost there. Part of me is like, will this get better? Will eventually I just walk without noises? By the way, we got like our beautiful morning crane. I don't know how much is coming through yet because it's still pretty dark out here. River, birds, fish are jumping. It's nice. It's a vibe. It's worth coming out here. Now I gotta run or walk up some steps. Blimey! But luckily we didn't step on any glass or nails today. So yay! That'll be a bad day. Oh my god. That's why I run with a credit card and a phone. Call me a taxi. I ain't running home with a nail in my foot. But if I keep training this way, eventually my feet will be strong. This water just looks too cold to cross. Alright. I'm like curious if I'm gonna keep doing this once there's snow. Frick! Oh. 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 Oh no. Alright. Now we're just gonna walk on more mud and rocks. There's a bench up there. Hopefully Oji-san's not here. Oji-san just means grandpa. Oji-san. Ow! Oh. It's great. It's super restful. That's why we do this, right? Ow! Almost. Oh, frick! It's almost worse when it's dirt with just a couple pokies. All right. Okay. We did it. We did it. Look at us. Look at us. And I only have mild frostbite on my feet. It's funny. I watched this show once upon a time where these two like survivalists get dropped in different areas and survive. Ow, frick, how do I walk up this? I don't remember doing this last time. Ow. Oh, wow. You know, oh, this training's probably really good for me. But I do wonder if it's necessary. Let's find a bench. This one looks good. It looks wet. Oh, whatever. Just sit. Okay, that guy's leaving. Great. But we'll wait maybe a minute or two for our feet to dry off, because ain't nobody want wet socks. I guess if I got smart, I could run with a towel. But what's the sport in that? You know? I'm definitely blessed to get to live in Japan the way that I do. There's a lot of things that are really quite fantastic about our life out here. It's challenging, my job's hard. Working across time zones is hard. Politically, there's a lot that makes my job super challenging. I do more politics than actual, like, engineering at this point in my life. But it's moments like this kind of help settle stuff out. Not everybody gets to live in one of the largest cities in the world with all the great accommodations that come with it, and still have a slice of nature and catch a sunrise along such a beautiful river, you know. That's pretty neat. Getting all the sand out of my toes. And there's a lot of it. So that's the second time we've passed through the river on foot, and overall my thoughts on the experience are that maybe maybe we keep doing this on Wednesday. As long as we can keep waking up and getting out here, I mean, we might as well. I seem to keep waking up naturally at 4:30, 4 a.m. depending on the day, and if my kids kick me out of my bed. They have been awful, absolutely awful. I gotta figure out what's going on. Like, we just get displaced every night. I don't even know where my wife is. She might have left the house. I just woke up and like 2 or 3 kids on my bed kicking me out. I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna go run because I need to get away from all of the children. They didn't start in the house, that's for sure. Feet are entering the realm of dry. It's particularly the inner toe region that is the most critical to work out. You know, my upper big toe, I'd say out of all of them, that one's a little chilly. We don't want to get frostbite, but the thing is, we can kind of train and condition our body to navigate situations like this. Oh, that adventure show, that was what I was talking about. These 2 guys get dropped in different survival situations, you know, like out in the Amazon rainforest. Well, there's one dude that's apparently, you know, Earth child kind of guy. Nothing wrong with Earth children. They're great. I gotta be careful with the labels I use. But he had like, he wanted to be Frodo, you know, or Bilbo Baggins. Like, he had trained his feet to be able to walk the earth barefoot in all climates. And they drop these guys in the middle of Siberia or something. And bro's barefoot and like borderline conditioned to be able to handle it. But they're like, after 24 hours, Earth child is starting to show signs of discomfort. Perhaps his feet, perhaps the snow is too much for his feet to handle. You know, it's like, and they have like the big like bass boom sound with like the screeching wind chime or whatever. You know, like in survival, when there's like, where they're like, we need more drama. This isn't drama enough. Add a noise. Now it's drama. It's reality. It's bigger than reality. So in the same vein though, like I typically run in shorts unless it's actually snowing, then I'll wear leggings. And but part of me is curious. I'm like, if I keep taking this pause on Wednesdays, take off the shoes, go walk across that little stretch of water, navigate the cold rocks, I'm like, I wonder how much I can train my feet. Because if you live in a colder climate consistently, like your body actually adapts to some extent. I want to be careful here. To some extent, cold is still cold, and cold physically takes heat from your body. It's just simple thermodynamics. You put energy in your system via food, your body turns it into warmth and it gets it to the extremities. In a survival situation, when it gets bad, your body will pull heat from the extremities and keep it in your core to keep your heart beating, your lungs breathing, your brain thinking, right? And then you lose your fingers and your toes. But at the same time, there is some level of adaptation where individuals who live in colder climates typically are a little heavier. Their body stores more fat, but they also find that they have larger amounts of blood vessels near the surface of their skin so that they can send that hot blood right where it needs to go. Oh, look, we finally got sunshine. Made it. All right. Well, that is just lovely. Okay. So the reason I'm curious is, like, I could probably condition my body to keep doing that, but to do it through the winter, that's a little questionable. Because even right now, both my big toes, they're a little cold. By the way, there's a bathroom right there. I'm gonna do a mini bio break, but I'll set you up to watch the sunrise, so it should take me like, I don't know, 42 seconds. So just chill and enjoy the sun for a minute. Hi friends. Oh, that's better view. Hi friends. It's like the camera can almost see me. I make y'all run around in darkness, and then I give you something fun to look at. Look at all them cranes. All right, be right back. Hi, we're back. All right. Oh, it's so nice now. It's nice waking up before the sun. It's cool. Being a morning person has some perks, all right? This is one of them. And then, you know, life is interesting at night, so then you just stay awake. You just never sleep. I'm like an owl. Do owls sleep? These are the questions that haunt me, friends. All right, let me pop my gloves back on. But yeah, so like right now, I have like two sensations occurring. Like, what is this guy talking about? No, in my feet. First of all, my big toes, still a little cold. Like, for the current climate, that's gonna kill somebody. Nope. I don't know why I thought that would, oh, okay, there we go. I got two sensations. So first, my big toes, a little cold. All right, that's normal, that's fine. Because I want. 'Cause, 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 I got cold toes. Second sensation, so I put my glove on, is that my feet, bottom of my feet, oh man, muscles feel amazing. I'm like, shoot, that was so restorative. It's like everything feels like stretched out. It's like I got like a foot massage, like a very, very high quality therapeutic, like clinical medical foot massage, by walking on all those sharp rocks and wading through those mini ice beds. And now that I'm, I don't know, 4 minutes out of the water, tips of the toes still a little cold, but we'll see. As I keep running, ideally blood will keep flowing. But there have been some runs, like my long run on a Monday, it was colder. I wore leggings and 2 shirts. Definitely colder day, colder climate. I'm not sure that in that environment my toes would recover from a temperature perspective, or if they just decline, keep getting colder and colder. Because friends, like, one thing I don't want to screw around with is legitimate frostbite, like losing limbs. Not really a good look. Oh no, I don't mean that as a diss to like, you know, quadriplegics or anything like that. I mean, like, not a good choice to intentionally put yourself in a position where you lose your limbs. There we go. Clarification is important. Nice, nice, nice. So basically, I'm gonna have to think about this more. Well, how is that Maz? I'm gonna have to think a little bit more on if I continue to go out to that rock and pray and reflect, expose my feet to the elements. There's a lot to think about. How is that Maz? So that's one thing we got going for us. But in many ways, it's a very restorative process. What? Okay, guys, just turning around. Let's walk. Let's enjoy. Let's rest and recover. And it's helpful to show people you can walk and that's still exercise. I don't want my heart rate to fly right now. I want to rest, recover, renew. Oh. That was actually very good. Sometimes when I hit a deadlift, I'll feel a muscle in my leg or my back. It'll kind of pop a little bit. What happens with your joints if they're not moving optimally? Sometimes they can push ligaments and muscles down different pathways. And then when you kind of get things in the right mechanics again, sometimes you'll have like a muscle roll over the top of a joint, and that'll be like a little, it'll feel grinding. You won't get like a chiropractic back pop from that, but like if I move my shoulder correctly, and by correctly I mean if I move my shoulder into my injury zone intentionally, actually just with poor form, I can roll the muscle over the joint. It's very uncomfortable. You know, but like using a mirror, I know where my shoulders are supposed to sit. But sometimes you hit a deadlift or you stand up and twist a little or something, and you'll be like, you'll feel that roll, because it's not pop. And at first you're like, is this pain? Am I injured? Oh crap. You know, like you go through that continuum in your brain, and then you stand up a little bit straighter and you're like, huh, I'm alive. Maybe slightly better put together. Didn't know that was in the wrong place. You get lucky sometimes. Other times you try to put on a sock with one hand and you end up at the hospital with a back injury. Like, these things happen in your 30s. It's great. Stairs. Dude, I ran these suckers on Monday. And I hit these at mile 6.5 on the workout. Brutal. I despise these stairs. 10 out of 10 hate. Nice. So, just very aware where things are tight, twisted, a little bit off mechanically. And this whole workout that I've been talking through is just like putting my body and my movement back into position. So it's good for me. Very, very good for me. Sore. But if you want to make progress in your fitness journey, recovery is very important. And it's tricky because when you're training for like a long distance run, people will start to get who haven't done it before, and this is speaking from experience, like I've done these things, is they start to think I have to run every day in order to train towards a half or full marathon. And there are some people that train, you know, ultra marathons and stuff just by putting pure mileage on them legs, and you can do that, you could totally do that. But what I tend to advocate for is balance. And you really need to give your body space to recover, like incremental room to recover and replenish, so that you can come in full and ready to do the hard, longer distance kinds of training. And for me, I like to do the long runs after a complete day of recovery. So like, not everybody has the same approach, but some folks, when they train for a half marathon, will, you know, they'll run Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, different distances, some long, some short. And then Saturday is like when they perceive they have time, because everything's perception. And they're like, that's my long run day. I'm gonna wake up a little early on long run. I haven't recovered from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So the long runs just needlessly suck. And they don't understand, they're just burning everything out. You know, if you're, careful here, if you're like an athlete or an elite athlete, and you are training to run a marathon at a competitive level, like where time is something that you care about, like trying to set and keep a very specific pace and dominate, you need a very different training program. And maybe you are running every day, and maybe you want to do your long runs at max fatigue to learn how to push yourself through that. Like that's, so I want to speak out both sides of my mouth with that. But if you are average Joe, ooh, maybe I should change DadBod to that. I mean, DadBod, making fitness accessible to the average Joe. I kind of like that. For those who are heavier set with existing health conditions or injuries, you know, like me, because my name's Joe. I'm average. Anyway, well, yeah, think about that. That might be an insight there, buddy. Because I'm Joe. That's really funny in my brain. I just gotta see if that is still on brand, if that makes sense or not. But for folks that aren't elite in training, you want to show up to those long runs at your best, and then increase set your like target, because you're teaching yourself how to run 3 miles, 4 miles, 5 miles, 8 miles, 9 miles, 10 miles. You don't want to teach yourself how to do that when you're already fatigued. So that's why I actually do those on Monday after a full Sunday of rest, which is totally different than basically any long distance running program I've seen. The issue with that though is time. So it requires people, if they have a day job like I do, to wake up earlier and earlier to get the run, which means going to bed early on Sunday, and Sunday's when you want to stay up late and have fun. So that's a discipline discussion. But then I do hard work on that day from a cardio perspective, lift, and some of your muscles when you lift, especially like we did squats yesterday, like it's hard to squat after running 7 miles, but you could typically make yourself lift weights after doing an endurance workout. You just modify the weight and the reps. Like, everyone always has some level of ability, and what's great is it kind of works out some of the lactic acid to get on your body, do your stretch, and do good controlled functional movements of different muscle groups, as opposed to sitting in your easy chair the whole next day, because that's what happens in the other training path, right? You work hard Monday through Friday, you hit Saturday, you run on broken body, and on Sunday you sit in your easy chair, and then Monday you haven't really recovered because you were just lethargic. It wasn't an active recovery. And then you run hard on Monday, and then 4 weeks in you pull a hamstring. And you know why you pull a hamstring? Because you don't do strength and conditioning to build hamstrings. So that's the other thing, is like you need a mix of weightlifting, and I think you should train your core and back equally to your legs / cardiovascular ability for a half marathon. If you have good strength and good posture and form, you can run farther, safer. So even though I'm a big guy, 300 pounds, and depending on how you round, I'm more, maybe I'm less. I haven't scaled up in a while, but these things are accessible to people. You just have to reimagine how you train and understand the why of it. That's why today, like, we're walking. It's active movement. It's getting out on our body. We did a little bit of jogging. Sometimes this recovery is a jog the whole time, but today I was like, I want to take my shoes off, I want to trottle through the water, and I was like, I don't want to run up the stairs because I just don't want to do cardio anymore. Don't want to strain myself. It is purely recovery. The only exception, because Wednesdays are my shortest workout and I have more time, like I am gonna go do my weekly pull-up challenge. I think I'm on week 10. I'm trying to train myself how to do a pull-up at 31 years old and 300 pounds. So we'll see
I don't know what I'm gonna do this time. But hopefully this is encouraging friends, and if anyone's interested in doing the DadBod half marathon training program, just let me know. Message me on another one of my videos in the comments, because I'm gonna have a link to register. I'm gonna try to automate it. It's gonna be sick. All right.